The number of fatalities related to Typhoon Ompong has risen to 74 according to the Philippine National Police Operations Center. The highest number was recorded from Cordillera region after landslides hit ITOGON, Benguet, claiming over 60 lives. This was followed by Cagayan Valley with 10 deaths, Central Luzon with 2, and Metro Manila with 1 death reported. The number of missing persons has jumped to 55, while injured persons counted to 74. The PNP says rescue teams are working around the clock to help in search, relief, and clearing operations in areas struck by typhoon and landslides.
Sabi nga ng Chief PNP, we will not lose hope, and with your prayers, we will not stop until the last of our fellow Filipino will be accounted for, para po naman bigyan sila ng karapat-dapat na libing ng kanilang mga pamilya.
The death toll in the landslide areas in ITOGON, Benguet continues to rise as aid workers dug frantically with shovels and bare hands in an attempt to save the lives of people buried by a landslide. According to Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs Francis Tolentino, the point person of President Duterte to the calamity, the number of fatalities will possibly reach to more than 40. In Ukap village alone, 15 deaths were recorded, and this might rise with more than 50 still missing.
I have 60, but I have 2 found, so we have 62. It's more than 30 plus. Itogon is a municipality, so probably in Itogon we now have 40. The illegal mining operations contributed to the gravity of what we have now behind me.
Though chances of finding any survivors were slim, the government is not losing hope that they will still find life underneath the mud and debris.
I'm still labeling it as rescue operations because I am not giving up hope that there are survivors. There were incidents in Nepal, there were incidents in China, where in more than 2 weeks elapsed, survivors were found.
Meanwhile, the prices of vegetables in Benguet province rose after Typhoon Ompong pummeled the Cordillera Administrative Region or CAR. The wholesale prices of most highland vegetables jumped to as high as 300 to 350 pesos per kilogram, including celery, chayote, onion leeks, and broccoli, while a kilogram of lettuce, cauliflower, wombok, and cabbages cost around 100 to 300 pesos. The League of Association of La Trinidad Vegetable Trading Post explains the price increase is due to damaged farmlands and roads, making it hard for farmers to transport their yields. Typhoon Ompong affected around 130,000 vegetable farmers in Benguet, and they are hoping for government's assistance to recover from the devastation.
Sana bawasan yung maraming proseso. Kasi ang farmer, pag magre-rehab yan ng farm, ASAP yan. And they need real fast assistance.
The House of Representatives has allotted around 5 billion pesos from the budget of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. According to House Majority Leader Rolando Andaya, this is to help and rehabilitate areas affected by Typhoon Ompong.
We should remember Cagayan Valley is number 1 and number 2 in corn and rice production. The CAR is our salad bowl. Ilocos region is also an agricultural powerhouse.
The lower house also constituted itself as a committee of the whole earlier to discuss the 2019 General Appropriations Bill or the 2019 proposed national budget. The committee of the whole was convened after the House leadership discovered around 50 billion worth of misplaced funds distributed to several districts. These funds were realigned to the Departments of Health, Education, state universities and colleges, Public Works and Highways, and Agriculture.
When we spot errors in the course of our review, we serve the President's cause and the people's interest if we correct those. We betray their trust if we remain silent.
Senator Antonio Trillanes IV is willing to go to Davao City to face a libel complaint filed by former Davao City Mayor and presidential son Paulo Duterte. Trillanes says he is not afraid to present himself if a Davao court summons him amid threats of his arrest after President Rodrigo Duterte nullified his amnesty. The senator is also preparing his defense against the complaint, which stemmed from Trillanes' accusation during a radio interview that Paulo Duterte extorted money from ride-hailing services.
I'll cross the bridge when we get there. Kung kailangan pumunta ron, di pupunta ako doon.
In other news, a former lawmaker calls on the government to release the results of the tests done on steels used in construction in the country in the past years. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
Sana wala hong sakuna na mangyari. Dahil pagka kahit na isa, dalawa na lumuhod dito sa mga gusali na ito, ang bagsak ng ating ekonomiya, hindi po natin kayang iahon yung sarili natin, no? Sa sa maikling panahon. Napakalaki po ng magiging epekto o consequence niyan, no?
This is what former Senator Nicky Cosseteng fears in case what he has found out about the quality of steels that are being used in the construction in the country proves to be true. Based on the documents she gathered, steels used for more than 10 years are not in accordance with the standards in building constructions, especially the high-rise ones. The former lawmaker said the Department of Trade and Industry cannot show her any documents to support that the steels pass the standards.
Yung microalloy, paglabas ng bakal, no? Yung paggawa ng bakal, yung pong billets na yung raw material, pag inimport mo yan at grade 40 yan, ibig sabihin grade 40 siya doon sa buong bakal. Kasi pag nilabas yan, yung bakal na mainit, no? Palalamigin mo yan. So ang laman sa loob at laman sa labas ay grade 40.
So dapat grade 40 all throughout?
Yes. Natakot ako dahil nabalitaan ko na yung grade 40 na bakal, na billets, paglabas, itong bagong sistema nila na binubugahan ng cold water spray, no? Yung labas na parang outer skin ay nagiging mas mataas kesa sa grade 40. So yun ang tinitinda nila as grade 60.
Cosseteng also questions why the grades of steels are not embossed.
Pero pagka naka-emboss yun, at kahit sino sa atin dito, ipatest nyo yung bakal na yan, at naka-emboss yung pangalan ng pabrika, yung grade ng bakal at yung size, at W, kung weldable siya, no? Pwede mo habulin yung pabrika, pinatest namin ito, hindi pala grade 60.
The former lawmaker got the information from Engineer Emil Morales, who also exposed this issue last May. Morales said that tempered or thermomechanically treated or TMT rebars are used in the country for the past 12 years, and the microalloy are much better to use, especially in high-rise buildings. The Laban consumer said the government should pay attention on this issue.
Hindi na uso yung mga duplex, mga apartment, bihira na yon na nagtataasan lahat. So, dapat bigyan lang ng priority at hindi dapat iput-drag ng DTI yung pag-review ng standard. As soon as lang may declaration na safe siya for high-rise building.
DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez said he already addressed the issue by consulting experts, including the engineers from the Department of Science and Technology. The official adds that steels in the Philippines are tested for the past 30 years.
Pagka may mga selyado yan, pag sinatawag na QT, yung quench and tempered, yan ho yung nirereklamo nila former senator, ayan po yung mga pumasa. Basta ho may marka ho, no? Pumasa ho yan, wala hong problema dyan. Na-prove na ho yan, test po yan, at wala, safe ho.
The Steels Asia's prior statement to UNTV shares the same comment on the issue. The program Get Straight with Daniel Rason will also give chance to other parties concerned on the issue.
Wala ho tayo ditong ibig na masama sa kahit na kanino.
Opo.
Dahil of course, ang ekonomiya ng ating bansa, kung gumaganda, fine. Ang atin hong mga kababayan ko nakakapagpatayo ng struktura, maganda. Kaya lang, ang gusto natin ay malagay tayo doon sa ligtas na kalagayan.
Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
And for the news abroad, here's Kath Dumaraos live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, William. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un meets in Pyongyang for their third summit. However, the number of people watching the live televised summit news is noticeably lower compared to the first inter-Korean summit in April. Eric Ferrer tells us why.
A cool and brooding South Korean public sent off its President Moon Jae-in to North Korea on Tuesday in sharp contrast to the widely enthusiastic crowd of North Koreans cheering their leader Kim Jong-un and his guests arriving for their third summit. Compared to Moon's first inter-Korean summit in April, the number of people watching live televised summit news at Seoul train station and Sito Plaza was markedly lower, reflecting the indifference by many in the South. The summit was only ranked top 12 at Naver web portal's trending topics.
The summit does not mean so much to us. I think the current matters are only related to United States and North Korea, and South Korea has already done everything we had to do. So I hope President Moon would be more concerned about domestic matters and economy than thinking too much about this kind of matter.
Moon arrived in Pyongyang for the 3-day visit aimed at advancing faltering nuclear talks and bringing about a permanent peace regime on the Korean peninsula amid record low public approval at home. He faces tough political pressure at home for his government's handling of the economy and failure to deliver on his promise to create well-paid jobs, as the unemployment rate hit an 8-year high in August. Eric Ferrer, UNTV News and Rescue, South Korea.
The U.S. is imposing new tariff on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods as it escalates a trade war with Beijing. The higher import taxes will apply to almost 6,000 items, marking the biggest round of U.S. tariffs so far. Handbags, rice, and textiles will be included, but some items expected to be targeted, such as smartwatches and high chairs, have been excluded. China has previously vowed to retaliate against any further U.S. tariffs. The taxes will take effect from 24th of September, starting at 10% and increasing to 25% from the start of next year, unless the two countries agrees a deal. Residents in the Mexican state of Jalisco are complaining about a trailer that was rented by the government. Marie Peñaranda tells us why.
A refrigerated trailer containing at least 100 corpses in Mexico's western state of Jalisco has angered residents who have complained about the smell. Authorities say they are trying to relocate the container, which was rented after mortuaries in the city of Guadalajara became full.
Well, it's really bad because it affects our children. It smells really bad. Soon, it's going to start smelling worse. And the flies land on food.
Because they saw the news that they brought them from who knows where, and they left them here. They left them here really close. If they had left them far away, you would not notice, but they are here.
Laws in Mexico prevent the cremation of bodies linked to violent crimes. Local authorities say they were looking for a longer-term solution to store the bodies following a recent wave of violence. More than 200,000 people have been killed or have disappeared since December of 2006, when Mexico's government declared war on organized crime. Marie Peñaranda, UNTV News and Rescue, Texas, USA.
Elon Musk's company SpaceX unveils first private passenger it plans to fly around the moon. 42-year-old Japanese billionaire and online fashion tycoon Yusaku Maezawa announced that he chose to go to the moon. He is expected to lift off on the big Falcon rocket, a launch system that was unveiled by Musk in 2016. The mission, which is currently planned for 2023, will mark the first visit to the moon by humans since NASA's Apollo 17 landing in 1972. The death toll from Florence has risen to at least 31 as flooding continues to inundate North Carolina. Meanwhile, transport service remains limited in Hong Kong amid ongoing clearing operations after Typhoon Mangkhut ravaged the region. Beverly Saison tells us why.
In Hong Kong, great efforts to clear roads and repair facilities underway are so as to resume traffic after Typhoon Mangkhut hit the Chinese Special Administrative Region. Bus companies started to provide an increasing number of bus services on Monday afternoon as roads were cleared of tree branches and other debris crashed down by Mangkhut. Trains are currently providing limited services due to the overhead line damage caused by fallen trees along the East Rail Line. The Airport Authority of Hong Kong says normal service will resume after a total of 889 flights were cancelled on Sunday. The super typhoon has brought severe damage to various parts of the public transport network and facilities, especially roads and piers. In Nigeria, people in Lokoja were displaced after their houses were submerged during fatal flooding in Nigeria. A spokesman for the country's Emergency and Disasters Agency says floods in as much of central and southern Nigeria have killed 100 people across 10 states. Heavy rains in recent days has resulted in a national disaster in 4 states: Kogi, Niger, Anambra, and Delta, the National Emergency Management Agency, or NEMA, said. And in USA, the death toll from Florence has risen to at least 31, with 24 deaths confirmed in North Carolina as flooding continues to inundate North Carolina. The state's governor, Roy Cooper, says the epic storm was still an immediate danger as rivers reach major flood levels. The coastal city of Wilmington became an island amid heavy floods following the storm. Officials have warned evacuated residents to stay away. At a news conference on Monday, Governor Cooper said catastrophic flooding and tornadoes are still claiming lives and properties across the state. Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Kaf Dumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. The Kosovo police is imposing a new traffic law which uses drone monitoring method. Victor Cosare explains why.
Kosovo police have started using drones to catch drivers who do not respect traffic signs in an attempt to reduce the high number of casualties. Since January, the small Balkan country has introduced a new law that imposes heavy fines, and police began patrolling with unmarked cars to remain unnoticed. 2 police officers launched a black and white drone just outside the capital Pristina, where after a few minutes, they filmed a driver overtaking another car over a full white lane on the bridge above the Pristina-Skopje highway. The driver looked confused when a policeman approached with an iPad to show him the video from the drone. A driver who commits such an offense must pay a fine of up to 300 euros, has his license confiscated for 6 months, and loses 2 out of 9 driving license points. The average monthly gross salary in Kosovo is around 500 euros. The newly introduced methods had helped cut the death toll on Kosovo's roads to 82 in the January-August period this year, from 85 in the same period in 2017.
This new method has proven successful. Citizens now know that the Kosovo police can be anywhere where they could commit a violation.
The most deadly months are July and August, when many people living abroad, mainly in EU member states, return to Kosovo for holidays. Careless driving, old cars, and bad road signs are seen as the main reasons for high number of accidents. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue.
Works featured in the biggest sand festival in Singapore wowed tourists at Sentosa. One of the sand sculptors also shares with UNTV their secret and struggles in making a stable sculpture. Here's why from Queenie Balyon.
Bringing the sand sculpture culture in Southeast Asia is the life goal of the 43-year-old Singaporean sculptor Drew Hang Tan, in which he finds himself doing more and bigger for the sake of sand for 21 years in his career.
But I like fine arts and sculpture a lot, so I end up still in sculpture. Sand is my main profession. I've been busy all around, whole year round with sand sculpture. So I'm happy with it. I can build my dream around the world.
Drew Heng has led the team of 14 professional sculptors of different nationalities to complete the gigantic sand sculptures of popular Marvel icons from Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. Their sand works are featured in the Sentosa Sand Station at the hippie Siloso Beach of Singapore. He said that the biggest struggle in putting up these superheroes is using the beach sand instead of using the ideal river sand for more stable figures. They took them 10 days to finish the 15 sculptures like Iron Man, Thor, Thanos, and Doctor Strange. He also shared that the secret behind a stable sculpture is the amount of water in compacting process and the meticulous carving process.
So this is a sand block. And you can see in the lower part it's still wet because the sand is draining down from the top all the way down, so the lower part is still a little wet. But it's still alright. We still can work on it. So we're gonna make UNTV logo. So I'll start with this one. I need to make a flat surface for the logo.
The sand art wowed first-time tourists at Sentosa.
I think the way the artists have depicted and captured every detail of the superheroes is very amazing. And I mean, when you look at it, I can't believe these are made of sand, really. I mean, to build something like this is really, really awe-inspiring.
Meanwhile, to complement the sand sculptures of the iconic superheroes, the organizers have also assembled an array of interactive Marvel-themed activities that allows their visitors to showcase their very own superpowers. They also have sand sculpting workshops for kids, live graffiti painting, and movies by the beach. Sentosa Sand Station is Southeast Asia's largest sand festival and has been hugely popular since its debut in 1999. And this year's Marvel edition is part of the second year of a 3-year collaboration between the Singapore Tourism Board and the Walt Disney Company Southeast Asia. Queenie Balion, UNTV News and Rescue, Singapore.
And those are the reasons behind the news, September 18, 2018. On behalf of Rina Villamor Camara and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.